Hello, everybody. We're back and live on the air, Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. We're going to bring live on the air. We had him on last week. We had a little technical difficulties, but we got him back. We got him to come back on the show, and we're pleased and thrilled to have the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, head coach Chris Johnson. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Well, so we were doing the Riverdale game, and I'm listening and watching the scores, and we're following your game and everything. And the biggest thing I see is I didn't see you score, but they beat you 20-0. But the biggest glaring thing was all of their points happened early, and somehow or another Laverne just stopped the bleeding immediately. But somehow or another couldn't get any offense going. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, well, you're right. They scored all of their points in the first quarter, and we were able to come back and rebound and hold them for 3 quarters. And our guys, once we kind of settled in a little bit, we had 8 guys on defense that were playing varsity for the first time, and we had about 4 guys on offense playing varsity for the first time. So we had a lot of first times for, Friday night. My first head coaching job, first varsity game as a head coach. So it was just a lot of firsts, and we were trying to settle in, and then you're playing the 19th ranked team in the state, takes a couple of quarters, and I think our guys finally settled in there. Offensively, we're still trying to mesh and gel and learn a new system, and so I think toward the end there, we kind of got a pretty good idea of personnel and what we want to do. So came back this week and had a really good week of practice, and I think we got those things fixed.
Well, apparently you did some good coaching somewhere along the way, because I see you stopped the bleeding, and just like you said, you had several numbers of guys that were involved on Friday night for the very first time. So that's good coaching, that you were able to manage those kids. Cramping. Let's talk about something you can really control. Did you have any cramping?
We had a couple of guys cramp, and a couple of our offensive guys, they cramped up, and namely some of the guys. You take a guy like Jason Bitterball when he started cramping, but he had been plagued by an ankle injury couple of weeks leading up to that, so he missed a couple of days of practice and conditioning, and so it was it made sense why he was cramping up, but he was really the only one we had cramping. So I felt like we were in shape, and we answered the call there, but didn't really have a whole lot of guys tapping out because of cramping.
Penalty-wise, how'd you do? Did you feel like your guys controlled themselves as the game was being played?
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things that hurt us early. We started the game off, every time we would gain a little momentum offensively, we'd have a block in the back or a holding call. And those things like that kills momentum, and especially when you're playing with a lot of young guys. Our freshman quarterback got in, and Deacon Hamlin, and of course that was one of the drives where we had some penalties kind of set us back a little bit. So we definitely have to clean that up. We've worked hard cleaning that up this week, and I think one of the things that marks a young team anyway is you're going to have some of that early, and so we were plagued by that early on in the game, and I think that killed our momentum.
You catch Dickson County, so you've been preparing for them all week. This is a non-region matchup. They beat up on Columbia Central 27-17 last Friday night. What scares you about a Dickson County team, Coach Chris Johnson?
Yeah, we watched Dickson. I think the difference in that game, 2 of those touchdowns came on special teams. So, if you take those 2 touchdowns away, it's a much closer game than the score suggests. And so, one of the things that hits me is we've got to win the special teams battle this week. I think that's going to be a huge difference in this game. We've got to stop the run. They're aggressive up front, and so we've got to stop the run. And the quarterback has a little wiggle, so he can get out of the pocket a little bit. You know, they've got some athletes that they try to get the ball to, so it's another challenge for us. You know, and of course, defensively, you know, they've got some speed on the edge, a couple of DBs that are pretty good. So we're going to have another challenge for us. But I think we've worked hard this week of getting our guys ready for this opponent. And I think the guys are ready to get back out on the field and show that we are not the same team that we were last week. We've gotten better.
Well, I just got to ask one question. You said it was your first Friday night and everything, and usually something logistically drives a coach haywire. I won't ask you what really went wrong, but that probably you lost your noodle on, or you know, just trying to get straight. That was something simple, but all in all, the headset chatter and just and trying to and you know the lights, the band, the kids, the school, and knowing you're in that moment. How was it for you, Coach?
Yeah, it was, you know, first, I'd just like to commend our student body, our fans, our parents. They showed up in huge numbers. I mean, it was a great environment, a great home game for us. Our band was there, cheer, dance. You know, it was just a great environment for us. And I think, you know, the things that, you know, I look at that you say you wish could have gone better. I just wish we could have, you know, not had those early penalties, and you know, we had snaps go over our head on special teams, and then another snap go over our head, you know, on offense. So when I look at it, you know, I know it wasn't even really like logistical things like behind the scenes. It was just on the field, like those little mishaps like that. I think they take the breath out of you, especially when you have a young team and also a young coaching staff. We have a lot of coaches that are coaching for the first time. So, you know, those things, you know, are hard to kind of overcome when you're trying to gain experience. So if I could do anything different, we could have anything back. I just love those things back. But, you know, those are all things that are fixable. And I think we did a good job this week of fixing some of those things.
Yeah, and you know what, Coach, and we're all known for this. I mean, heck, I was calling a 3-3 stack, or a 3-4 stack, a 3-3. I mean, I had my moments too. I was calling the quarterback the wrong name on a couple of times, you know. So, you know, and yeah, it's the first Friday night jitters, and you want to. And when you're going to the stadium, you think, you know, I'm gonna say this on the broadcast, and you write it all out, and you say some of it, and then you had some other things you're going to say, and you forgot about all that because the game got way in. That's the reason why you write all that stuff down. So, you know, I mean, yep. It's a lot of people don't know, but I wish I could tell people just how much it's just not putting a headset on. It's not just practicing football, but the amount of hours that coaches and all of us go through to get ready to just put this show on that goes on for 3 hours every Friday night, it's a lot. I mean, it is a lot. People just have no idea.
Yeah, it really is. You know, the film study, the game preparation, you know, and not to mention, you know, when you're teaching a building, you see these kids during the day, and so you're not just a coach. You're a mentor, you're a leader. You know, they look to you. The administration looks to you to kind of help guide the kids, and you know, and so it's more to it. And I say this all the time. We often spend more time with the kids than they do with their parents, just simply because they're at school all day with us, and then they come to practice with us. So by the time they go home, they just want to go to sleep, you know. And so it is really an important role, and we've embraced it. And I think that's the biggest learning curve, especially when you have, you know, some young coaches, is just kind of teaching them, like, hey, it's bigger than just football.
Anything you'd like to say to the faculty, staff, and administration of Laverne High School as you get ready to go into battle against Dickson County in a non-region matchup?
You said, is there anything I would like to say to them?
Yes, I'd like to say to the faculty, staff, administration of Laverne High School as you get ready to go into battle.
Yeah, I just, you know, hey, we appreciate the support last week. We'd like it again. It's another home game. So we would just kind of like for all of the staff and, the teachers, support staff to just come out and support these kids again. They were electric last week, and we really appreciate it. You know, just love the exciting things that's happening in our school in general, and just love for them to come out and support again.
Coach, we can't thank you enough for being on Inside the Headset. We wish Laverne the best of luck against Dixon County, and go Wolverines.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.